Hey guys, Cindy over paper.old.new. How's everybody doing? Um, I'm getting there. I know I keep telling you I'm working on trying to get myself back on schedule. I'm doing the best I can. I'm glad that you guys caught those other videos that I made, and I'm trying to get a couple more done this weekend so that maybe I can get maybe 2 out this week as well. What I wanted to do with you guys today was I have sewn all of the Little Golden Book Kitten journals together. So what I'm looking at doing, hold on, let me get one. What I'm looking at doing is going through and pulling out, okay, so here's the Shy Little Kitten. Remember this one? Okay. And I've sewn it together, as you can see. We have, for some reason this side isn't folded, but it doesn't really need to be folded. Probably should be flat, actually, to go in the spine when I make it. I haven't made the spine, but now we have all of these pockets to fill, right? So we have this to fill. This is a pocket. These are pockets. So we have all these pockets in here that we need to take care of getting stuff made for. So what I've been doing is going into the paper scraps that we've saved. Now, I will say this, with all of these books, I did leave these out, except for that one that you saw me sew together on camera or put together on camera, whatever I did. We made these and we connected them and we created pages out of them. These are only in one of the books as pages. What I'm thinking about doing is folding them and using them in pockets, like tucking them into pockets as paper to use for journaling. So I'm thinking that these will get included as journaling pages. That's my thought. Because I think they're, like I said, I think I only did them in one. So we're going to do that. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make cards out of all of our random ephemera bits. Okay. So we have all these pieces that, let's see, we can go ahead and start doing see, look guys, I'm already lost in my own mess. I'll put that down there for now. It's a little chilly in the house today. We've been struggling with these single-digit temperatures, and it's just crazy. But anyway, okay, so we're going to cut this little hinge piece off. Okay, and then we have this that we can use as background. All right, so let's see what we might want to decorate this with. And once we get these decorated, we can use them, you know, wherever they seem like they would fit the best. Also, I want to look back in here and just get a vibe, a feel for, you know, what's going on in this book, what kind of pictures there are, because I'm doing 4 of these, so they kind of run together a little bit. But I'm trying to get an idea of what's in the book. Like there's some mushrooms here. Maybe we could use a frog, you know, so all kinds of graphics and stuff like that we can use to go on and decorate cards. This one, I'll probably keep that size. This one's this size. This one, oh, that's a full card, and we might keep it that way. It's got mushrooms on it, so that's a good one. We've got these that we can turn into cards. This has got a fold in it for some reason. And then we've got all these stripes that would be fun to decorate with. We've got some corner pieces here. Now, am I saying that this is all I'm going to use to fill pockets? No, obviously not. But I would like to use the scraps up as pocket fillers before I move on to other pieces of ephemera. And then I'll just move on and find other things that match and we'll put them in the book. Okay, so there are some sections where I'm going to need little pockets. So what I've been doing is I've been taking this stuff and I've been backing it. I think it would be fun to have, I already backed this. This has got some on it. This has got something glued to it because I already used it to back. I used the other part of it to back something else. So we could put this on here and get this kind of grid on the back. What do you think? I think. All right. So, like I said, we're just taking our scraps, reinforcing them, and using them in the book. I feel like because when I make journals, I know everybody has this idea that it's great to make a whole bunch of stash ahead of time, and I've tried it. I've tried it a couple of times. But as with anything, if I don't have a reason, if I don't have a plan, if I don't have a theme or something, then I don't know what to decorate it with. I don't know what paper to use. I don't know what papers to use together. I don't know what to do with it, if that makes sense to anybody. So I end up making things and then not knowing where to use them. So I have a bunch of ephemera, and one of I mentioned at one point that my pick-a projects were going to change to like projects that I knew I needed to. I did something with my rag. Hold on a second. Projects where I know that something needs doing that isn't necessarily a journal, right? So I need to clean out a drawer or, figure out what I'm going to do with a whole box of stickers that I've got or, whatever. So while I say it's similar to making with my mess, it's not going to be quite the same thing. Because like I said, it'll be more like a random what's in my box. So we would pull out pieces of, like I would pull down a box of pre-made ephemera that I've done, and I would look at it and I would say, now with all of my wonderful years of experience doing this, because I'm a veteran at this point, right? Not at all. With all my wonderful years of experience, I've kind of gotten an idea of things I like to use, things I don't like to use. I know you guys have heard me say this before. You're probably like, oh gosh, here she goes again. Losing things. That's what I'm doing again. It's right in front of me. Going through and saying, you know what, I'm probably not going to use this. Can I take it apart? Can I repurpose it? Can I rebuild it? Can I make something else out of it? Anything like that. If it's a piece that needs decorating, then I decorate it. Just stuff like that so that I can go through and make the things I want to make and have the ephemera that I want, that I will use. I think we're going to do this side. And get rid of anything that I know I won't use. So, what was my point of all that rambling? Well, my point was, what I typically end up doing is when I make a journal, I make ephemera that goes with that journal, right? At the time that I'm making it. I don't tend to get down my box of pre-made ephemera, and because a lot of the times the journals I've been making anyway have had some sort of a theme, whether it be a little golden book, in which case the theme is the story and the colors and stuff that are used in the book, and the style that the book is done in. So it's either going to be something like that, or it's going to be like one of those journal, like the flip-flop journal that I made that was all from a specific digital kit that I got. And I made that. Or I made one that was all green. These things all have a theme, and so pulling out pre-made ephemera is kind of hard because it doesn't always fit the theme. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know. But in that vein too is also the idea that when you're making stuff specifically for a journal that you've already got, all the papers that you've been using to cover pages and make pockets and all that can then, all the scraps, if you keep them together, can then be used in the journal. I'm not wanting to use that. I'm wanting to use this because I'm going to make a tag. I don't know where my tag cards are. I'm going to have to find them. Now that I've started back into making ephemera and doing this kind of stuff, I need to find my tag cards. And by tag cards, I mean I took a gift card or one of those plastic gift cards or hotel room keys or, anything like that that you have that you can cut the corners at different angles and different sizes. And then you use them as your pattern for your corners on your tags. Okay, so we've got those. And this one, I'm kind of half tempted to use some of this to decorate on here. Just for fun. What do we think? I don't like the plaid. Now there will be pockets where I might be able to use some of this little stuff also. So I'm not pitching it just yet. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to a point where I look at it and go, I don't need it. But for now, I'm kind of the opinion that until I know I don't need it, I'm going to hang on to it. All right. I'm trying to decide if I like that. I just want to decorate this card, and I don't know. How I want to do it. Maybe we'll use the other one. Like that. I kind of like the grunge. I don't want to cover it up. But in the same token, if I use this piece of wallpaper, I don't want to cover the whole thing of that up either. I mean, if I'm going to bother to use it. I'm just kind of piecing this together to make it like a kind of a geometric crazy card, and just using the scraps from our book here. All right, sorry. I know, I'm getting sidetracked again. I don't want... What are you thinking? I'm liking this idea. I just got to get it to come together where I want it. Ooh. Just kind of want the cats. And then, I know, I went quiet on you. I'm sorry. I'm always doing that. I get, my thoughts go all in, and I'm just like, okay, so we're going to do a kind of mismatched sort of a thing here, and I'm going to... I wonder if I could use that mustard colored bow. Probably should use something flat. because this has got to go in a pocket. All right, let's get some of this stuck down, glued down, whatever. All right. I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to be gluing stuff on top of it, so I'm not really worried about, like, whether or not it's going to stick, because I think it will. Whether or not it's straight is a different story. Okay, so how is everybody doing? All right, so this past week you saw the accordion books that I'm messing with, and what else did I show you? My memory is shot. But I told you guys I took a job as an aide, right, at the school, at the elementary half of the school that my daughter goes to. And I ended up going in for we're going to have to move it up a little bit, and I'll have to cut some of it off. I don't want to cover up any of the cat. So this is going to get glued on up a little further. So they called me the other day. Usually I go in and I work about 2.5 hours in the middle of the day, doing all the lunch shifts. So like just giving the kids lunch, and or helping give the kids lunch. I'm not the only one in there. And I got a call. Ironically enough, I was on my way in to drop my daughter off and then do all my morning stuff and then head over to the school. And I got a call telling me that one of the people that usually comes in to help had called off sick for a family emergency. And that they wanted to know if I could come in all day. Now, I couldn't get there at the very, very start of the day, just because I got a low pressure alarm on one of my tires, and I didn't know why. So I took it over to a tire place and had them look at it, make sure that I wasn't getting ready to lose a tire, because it's a long drive. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting ready to lose a tire. So I had to do that first, and then I said, I can be in, if you guys need me. So, oh, goodness gracious. And I'm working down here at the bottom of my thing, too, aren't I? Just like I used to do downstairs. And guys, I'm sitting. I mean, it's not even like I have the excuse that I'm standing and so I backed up. It's just that I let all this migrate, so I backed up for space. Okay, anyway. So I went in and I worked all day, on my feet all day, and I was with the little preschool guys. They're so cute. So much energy. I mean, just so much energy. And of course, it was Friday. It's been cold. They haven't been able to go outside to play. I mean, they're all cooped up. And it's just, yeah. I mean, it's a lot. So, that was lovely. So, I was in there for the day, and it was just, there was a lot of chaos. I mean, they had been cooped up all week because, they've been in school all week. And I was different. So, because they were used to seeing me in the cafeteria, but not in their classroom. So I was different. And I mean, the day was just crazy. It was crazy fun, but it was crazy. And I had a lot of fun. But by the time I got home, man, I was exhausted. Can I just say I was totally done. Okay, what I'm doing here is I don't want to guess, and I'm trying to make less mess. So basically what I do is I lay the piece on where I want it to be. I mark with my fingernail the edges So this piece I will hold, and then I'll glue everything on that side of those marks from my fingernails, and then I'll cut it off after I get it glued down. That's just the way I've started. I do this so that I get as much of the piece, because I don't like it when I guess and then I cut too short or, whatever. So I just do it this way, and it seems to work out pretty good. Just line my marks back up and then put the piece down. Just like that. Okay. We'll clean up the glue. I didn't want the word at the bottom it said it began as a disagreement. I don't mind having it. I would rather have an incomplete sentence than the negative thought. And who knows, maybe I'll find a word that I can put on there that, began as a journey or, something more positive. Now, I don't know. I think that turned out kind of cute, kind of a patchwork little thing. And it's got the cats on it because this is a cat journal. I don't know where this will fit, but we do need to put it on. Oh, this isn't wide enough, is it? Darn it. What I will say is that I have caught myself making these and then going to fit them in pockets and needing to trim them. So I'm hoping that I don't have to trim it too much. But if I do, this top piece may be what comes off, this little piece here. Though that is going to get reinforced because I am going to put this on a backing. As soon as I figure out. I thought I had. Sorry, I know my head and everything is getting in here, but I'm trying to see. I still feel like I don't have enough space. I mean, I feel like, is it ever going to be enough space? Am I ever going to get there? I feel like it's never going to be enough space. Actually, right now, all I'm doing is looking for, this is coffee dye. I can use this stuff. Yeah. This is all book. Coffee dyed. No, this is coffee dyed things that we printed out for school and stuff, but that, obviously is old and not going to be used. So it's also not wide enough. That one's not wide enough either. Darn it. And this one's not big enough. Okay. Hang on just a second. Okay. In the interest of trying to use things up, they're lightweight card, but they're from the antique wallpaper books that I had. They're the fabric swatches for fabrics that you could order for upholstery and pillows and whatnot that went with the wallpaper. So I have all these pieces, and they're kind of, they've got natural age to them. And so what I do is I glue stuff on this side to make cards. Right? So that will work out perfect. So I'm going to glue this on here. All right. It's like I said, we're having trouble with the whole, we're supposed to get a heat wave next week. We're actually going to see some double-digit days. I'm excited. My daughter was so funny. It's been single digits. I mean, and low temperatures during the days. And my daughter was so funny because the other day we went out and she was like, "Wow, Mom, it feels warm out here." I was like, well, because it was still below freezing. It was in the 20s. It was in the upper 20s, but it was in the 20s. I think it got up to 30 that day. And we were chuckling about the fact that 30 felt warm because of the single digits and the low teens that we had been dealing with for like a week or more. So we were chuckling about the fact that, 30 was our heat wave. And we only got it for like a day. And then it went back to being cold again. So it has been crazy. All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was something that I'm planning on using in some of the pockets. I had tons of Project Life cards. They will get pulled out and used in these pockets. Not all of the pockets, obviously, but some of the pockets. I think I have some sitting. Did I have some sitting right here? Yeah. See, I have these. Now, this book, the colors don't really go. The yellow might, but these, and one side, it goes that way, and the other side goes that way. So, I have Project Life cards that I'm planning on dressing up and putting in some of these pockets as well, which will speed this up a little bit. And I do have other plans for some of the pockets, especially some of the bigger ones, because some of these are going to be in the smaller pockets just because, they're smaller cards. So we are going to put rounded corners on this. I don't know if I want to ink it just yet, so we're going to wait. The other thing that I find easier about making my ephemera as I go is I can make it custom fit to the pocket that I want to put it in. So I'm not just trying to find something that fits in the pocket. I'm making something that goes with that page that fits in the pocket. I know a lot of people do it. I'm not the only one. I'm just saying that's what I've discovered that I like. Now, maybe that makes the journals take longer to make. I don't know. In comparison to if you can just grab stash and run. But I don't know. I like it better. Something just fell behind me. Okay. Let's see where we are. All right. This one I want to put on a card. I think we're going to do this again, actually. Let me get... It's funny. We'll put wallpaper on the wallpaper book cards. Okay, so we're going to stick this on here. Huh. That has a piece of washi tape on it. Okay, sorry. I just caught my eye. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. I don't think it's straight, guys. Shocker. All right. I also wanted to show you another kind of card that I want to make for this book that I think will be a lot of fun that I was working on ephemera for one of the other Kitten books off camera just because I wanted to do a little to get a few ideas and figure out how I was going to have this video run. That's going to be a ton of glue over there seeping out all over the place. Just to figure out how I wanted this video to run. And not that it's, running smoothly by any stretch of the imagination, but not coming out of a Sugar Bell bottle, I get a bigger stream, so I try to spread it out some when I know I have a lot on there. But anyway, what I want to do is show you a few of the ideas that I got making cards. Oh, shoot. That's the only thing about getting this glue. This glue, we've talked about this before. Fabri-Tac is a solvent-based glue. The solvent in Fabri-Tac tears up this old wallpaper. It is not friendly to this wallpaper. So if you have any old wallpaper, it might do it to new wallpaper too. I haven't tested it. I have plenty of newer wallpaper. This is from the 70s for any of you who don't know. So whenever I get the glue on the wallpaper itself, I'm always like, oh, because I know it's going to be a mess. And I keep forgetting about the one thing that I did with this, one of my cards, which was to sandwich some lace in between. I think I wanted to do that with this one, but I didn't think about it in time. Okay, I'm thinking about topping this so that we can keep some height. Ooh. Maybe we'll put the lace up there. We can have like a little, yeah? Here, I'm just going to cut a piece off and then we'll trim it down afterwards. Okay, so basically what we're going to do, I'm going to take this piece off. We're going to take this, and this is too long, but I'll trim it when we're finished gluing it on. All right, and it's going to go, nope, the card's not straight. I know, shocker. Sorry I went quiet on you. I just got this thought and I wanted to follow through with it. And you know me, guys, I've mentioned before, when I talk and craft at the same time, it's not a pretty sight. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on here. I wanted to see how far down. Okay, so it's not very far. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue down on here. The other thing that, and I've probably mentioned this before too, so this isn't new or, you know, amazing or anything like that. The other thing would be, oh goodness gracious, that uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, we're going to do this a little bit differently. I'll do with my lace. The other thing that I wanted to say was that this helps with keeping your, you know, all those big bins of scraps that we create. If you use your scraps on your project as you go, you don't have to worry about the big bins of scraps collecting and not knowing what to do with them. I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to have no scraps left, but if you put your mind to it, you can use a good amount of them. I'm going to see if we can do this instead. Yeah? Let's see. Make sure I have it all the way down on there, so none of the stuff that's supposed to be, none of what's supposed to be the part that gets sewn. I'm assuming these trims get sewn into seams, so that doesn't show. I want to make sure that still doesn't show, and we're going to put a bead of glue along here. See, I had no idea what I was doing with this card. And then, you know, you just, I don't know, mess with it and mess with it and mess with it. I like that. I wanted to do the dots because I think it would go good with this, the idea of this card right here that I'm sticking on here. So I just want to make sure that goes down real good. Okay. And some black. Of course it is. All right. I want that to stay down in the down in there like that. Yes. And then I'm going to use good scissors to cut it because, see this? Yeah, that happened because those scissors that I tried to use were abysmal. Okay, so we're going to use good scissors and we're going to cut. And I'm going to cut between these dots because I don't want the dot to come apart. I really like that. That's really cute. I always shock myself when I do stuff like this because I'm like, oh. See what happens when you just kind of don't pay any attention to, like, you don't overthink. This was not overly thought. This was just, I wonder what I could do with. Okay, now, the only other thing that needs decorating is this hole right here. So, I still have to decorate the rest of the card. It's not done, but I thought that would make a really cute top. And then I have to figure out what else to put on there. Now, I'm trying to make sure that I keep in mind that these cards are going into pockets, and the pockets aren't necessarily gusseted. So I may very well, they may very well need, you need to be careful about what you put on them as far as, decorations and all that sort of thing, because you don't want to make it so that they can't go down into a pocket. Let's see. I'm looking for something I can cover that hole with. I don't actually know just yet, and I might leave it until I figure out where it's going to go, and then I can decide what I want to put on there. Okay, so for these, we've made a little card that needs decorating, and this card, I have die cuts here. Probably not these ones. These are a little too. And I don't necessarily know there's anything on here except for maybe that black bow. Is that in this one? Yeah, I think that's in that one. I'm trying to see how you open it. I guess you have to. They were having a sale at Hobby Lobby on die cuts. Well, the Paper Studio sale. You know what I'm talking about. I know you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to take that out because I think that would go good with this particular group of stuff. I think the rest of that, maybe not. Let me see what's in here. Anything that I might use? Maybe. The mushroom houses might be cute. There's also these little mushrooms in the front. We might be able to get away with putting those on something. Well, the yellow one is a mushroom. It's too wide for my card, isn't it? It is. Darn it. I'll have to go on a bigger card. Okay, so, but I got these die cuts to kind of fill in some space on some of these cards, and I think they're going to do a good job of decorating up some stuff. But I know you guys are looking at me going, God, she's all over the place. I am. I'm all over the place all the time. Everything I do, it's all over the place. Too big. It's funny. I'm either finding things to put on stuff that's too big, or I don't have anything that's big enough. That's about how this goes with me. Ooh. I didn't even think about that. I could put just a black and white. Oh, yeah. I like that a lot. Okay. All right. So what I'm working with here is a lot of neutrals in this book because this book is the Shy Little Kitten. It's got some pops of color, but for the most part, we're working with a lot of neutrals. So sorry, I'm trying to It's me concentrating again. I don't want it to go down with wrinkles, like all cattywampus and weird. So I'm just trying to get it on there straight or something. Yeah, that's cute. I like it. All right, so like that. And then what I typically do with these is get a piece of black and white tape. I'm just trying to make sure that it sticks because I'm not putting, you guys notice I haven't been putting I haven't been putting any kind of glue on the washi and the whatnot. I also haven't used any of these. Might have to use smaller ones. Perfect. Okay, so card made. These are a ton of fun. I'm having fun using up the scraps. I think the part of this that appeals to me the most is that I'm not now my desk is a mess, but I feel like the thing that appeals to me the most about this is the fact that I'm not accumulating more scraps that are going to go into my scrap drawer, because I have one and it's big and it's full, and you know, I look at the scraps and I'm like, I have no idea what to do with this. I mean, you saw me pull out those scraps and make pages to make like a scrap journal. I mean, okay. All right. So that's really cute. I'm loving it. Okay, so that's 2 cards. This one's probably not done, and neither is this one, but they're getting close. So it'll depend on what page they go on. So we have those. Let's look at this. I'm thinking I might put something from here on this. This paper came from this kit. Ooh, I might put that on there. Although I'm worried that it might blend. So I think these are clear. And I'd like to put this on there, but I'm worried because the letters are written in that color that it'll blend in. So I don't know. Oh, what about this one? This one might be okay. To enjoy the little things. I might leave that. You know, just that's it. I am not a fan of the shiny, guys. The only reason I have these is because they came with a pack of papers and stickers and things that I bought, and it happened to have these in it. I'm not a fan of these shiny ones. I mean, I guess they're okay. It's just not a, I don't know. I could put this on here with it. No, I don't like that. I mean, it's cute and all, but I don't like it on here. All right, I'm gonna set that one off to the side. Let's cut a piece to resemble or to be the size of a card I want to do. So let me see how tall these are. I'm going to make this card, and this will be the last one we do today, and maybe we'll come back and make some more with some of the other books when I'm working on them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4. I could do 5 3/4. All right, so we'll keep that height. These are not straight. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut the hole off. Cut that off. And then I have to straighten this up because I didn't cut it right. That's close. Okay. So if I'm going to try and make everything straight to this edge, all right, we're good there. We're good there. We're good there. And then we're going to cut this. So we said it was 5 3/4 or thereabouts. So we're going to cut this to be. Come on, don't disappoint me now. I'm beginning to think that my board is off in some places. Because like one way I'll put it on there and it's perfectly straight, and then another way I'll put it on there and it's off. 3 1/4 by 5? What do we think? Maybe 3 1/2 by 5. Let's do 3 1/2 by 5. I know you guys are like, what are we doing this for? We'll get there, I promise. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, you need to start at the top. So basically, you're going to pick what you want at the top of your piece. I don't want an angled piece. I don't know why I did. Also don't need it to be very wide. So we're going to cut this in half or thereabouts. This is going to be harder than I thought. We're going to cut this. I want to cut it right here. Should be close enough. We're covering up the bottom edge anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on here, like this. Okay. I'm going to do my little fingernail trick on both sides. And I'm going to glue between there. Now, this is going to use up several pieces of your smaller scraps that you created when you were cutting strips, and you held onto the strips and you were like, well, you never know, I might use them in decorating, or I might, whatever. This is going to use up some of those. Okay, and some of these awkwardly shaped pieces from cutting corners and corner pockets and whatnot. Okay, now the next piece, what you're going to do is you're going to, let me decide what my next piece is going to be. It's got to be wide enough to go all the way across. Ooh, you know what? I might break it up by putting, do I have any that's, Okay, so you're going to want to tear it like that. And then your torn edges will overlap. Now you can tear off the bottom where you don't need it. I don't need a lot down here, so we're going to tear those off. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to put this on here. Now, you have to decide. I'm probably going to put it on all the way over to the edge so I have a nice wide, because this one was angled, so that I have a wide spot here, because I don't want to make the edge too narrow. But I do want to cover this up. Okay, so this is going to get glued all on this side, up to that line. And it kind of makes this torn effect. Now, if you start at the bottom, you can do this starting at the bottom and going up. You're just your flaps will go in the other direction. So your layers will be the other way. Now, my only problem with your layers being the other way would be that when you're sliding the card in a pocket, if your card goes like this and this is your layer, your layers will catch going up. Does that make sense? I know. I do a lot of talking and not a lot of making sense. Okay, so that's that piece. Now we can even add, how big is this piece? That might make a decent card. I don't know if I want to tear that. Make it these pieces. We'll have some more of this. Set this up here. So basically what I'm using right now are my scrappy pieces. This card may end up being mostly black and white. Who knows? All right. And also it's going to depend on whether or not you want the white to show. Remember which way you tear your card. Okay. So I'm going to tear this like this. And then we're going to put this all the way up here so that I get all the way up to that. This is turning out to be very black and white, isn't it? You know what? I think we're going to throw some pops of color in. At least some yellow. What do we think? I'm only going to be able to do one half, so, or one side. So we're going to tear, I don't want to make it too narrow. So I'm going to tear this off. Just like I did with the other ones. And then we're going to put this up here. I'm trying to meet, okay, so if you're looking at this card, you see this angled piece. I want to get up to there because I don't want that showing. Okay. So I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to mark it with my fingernail like I have been doing. So I know where my glue goes over to. Okay. And then we're going to put glue on this. And I think we'll do 2 strips of the yellow dots. We'll alternate them in with, you know, the other piece, the other stuff that we put on here. I'll get it out. Just give me a minute. Ooh. Yeah, and when I'm done with this card, I'll let you go. And hopefully I can get some time to get up here and like really work on these journals so that the next time, I mean, we're getting pretty close to being done. I just have to get all the stuff in the pockets. And of course I have to get all the covers done. I mean, you guys saw the way I made the cover for the one. So I'm not necessarily going to bring you back through the cover process. But I have to get all the covers done. I may bring you in for one of them because I did these covers a little differently. This one has paper on the spine, on the piece of file folder. On the other ones, all the file folder pieces are blank. So I did not cover them with any kind of material or paper or anything. So when I get the book put together, I might show you how I intend to deal with that. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. I've never done it, but we're going to give it a shot, and I will, bring you along for the ride. I'll probably do one and then show you how I did it once I figure out the method. That's a lot of excess glue. I keep losing my rag. I think it's like hiding from me. Okay. Well, I haven't done any like brown, so I don't know if I want to pull this in or not. Ooh, I do have this that I can pull in though. Okay. I think we'll do a piece of this. What I don't think I want to do is put these two next to each other. So I'm not going to put yellow there. So I'll put these. Let's tear this. We're going to tear this side because I can feel that that's, I don't want a lot of thin. Oh, I hate. Okay. You see all these spiky bits? I cannot stand it when it looks like my fingernail was there, which is what that looks like to me. This did not tear it the way I wanted it to. Suppose that's a little better. Okay, so like this, and then it's not going to come all the way to the bottom, so we'll need one more, which is good because I didn't want it to end on the yellow. The question is, do I want it to end the way it started? Or do I just want to move, or do I want it to end on yellow? Move this down as low as I can. That's still not quite low enough. All right, well, let's see what we get. Oh, I forgot to. It saved me getting glue all over my desk because I glued too far down. Or having to lift up and try and get glue underneath because I didn't glue down far enough. That's basically what my goal is, to make sure that I glue it just where I need to glue. And not anymore. Okay. I have got to find, that's my dog. Somebody must be home. I have got to find the rag, guys. Okay. Now, I do try to, as much as you can, make them straight on there. Okay. So this will be kind of a fun layered card for this journal. And, oh, look, I went past my thumbnail anyway. Told you guys, when I talk, yeah, my son's home. I heard his voice. Okay, so I'm putting this on here like this. And then, now let's see. Oh, we can end on yellow then. So it'll end like that. That'll be good. All right, wait. Let's mark the corner. Okay. And then glue it down. I know I was all chatty at the beginning and then I just got crafty. Although I was kind of giving you the whys and wherefores of my thought process, I feel like, that's really the only other thing I can offer you is why I do some of the stuff I do. So if you see me doing something, you're like, I wonder why she does that. I'm hoping that I'm explaining. If you see me do something and I don't explain it and you're wondering why I do it, just ask. I'll try and make sure that if you're curious. Okay, so let's trim all of our excess off and we'll have a nice little, and this used up quite a few of the strip scraps. Now, the question is, how small is too small to keep? And that's, of course, personal preference. I mean, not for nothing, I've only got so much storage room, so eventually we get to the point where I'm like, I'm not keeping that. That's too small. I don't have a choice. And I said that when I was downstairs. I mean, I'm sharing my craft room with my bedroom, so I'm still in a limited space situation. So some of these yellow pieces might be worth keeping. These torn off pieces, probably I won't. I mean, you just have to make peace with your pieces, I suppose. Okay. Now, my only concern now is to make sure that all my torn edges are down so they don't catch on things. And then you have to decide whether or not this card is good. Is that done? Or do you feel like it needs something else? Now, of course, again, that's all personal preference. But I think that turns out really cute. So if you like this idea, give it a shot. You just cut out a piece of card, grab a bunch of your scraps, make torn edges, and just kind of layer it up. And remember what I said about which direction you layer it. If I turn it this way, I would be worried that these layers would catch trying to get into a pocket. So doing it from the top down and layering up this way, it can slide down in the pocket and hopefully just, run up like that. Right? So, and then you can, of course, cut it like, as a matter of fact, I think I will make this a tag. So we're going to cut this like this. And then use the old flip it over and cut on the other side trick. And there, I think that turns out really cute. I love this idea. I think this is one of the best ways, I think, to use up some of the strip scraps when they get to the point where they're so small that you're like, I don't know what to do with this. It's too small to make a tag, or it's too small to make you can make tickets and stuff out of them, but I think this is a really cool way to use up some of your scraps that will fit in with your book and match your color scheme. So, that's my video for you today, is taking all the scraps from the things that we made in the Kitten books, and I'm going back through and I'm trying to turn my scraps into pocket fillers. So we're looking to do that with most of these, and I'll keep going until eventually what I'll end up doing is going in here and saying, okay, what pockets can I fill with what I have, and what pockets do I still need to fill? And then I'll go from there. So I hope you guys like this. I hope this gave you some thoughts and some ideas, and I will see you guys with the next video. I have no idea what it'll be, but you'll know when I know. Thanks for coming, and God bless, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.